Are you working hard but feel like you're stuck in the same place financially year after year? Do you wonder why some people seem to build wealth while you're still struggling to get ahead? What if I told you that it's not about how much you make, but about the habits that you've developed around money? Well, if you've ever asked yourself these questions, then this video is for you, my friend. I'm going to reveal 10 money habits that are keeping you poor, and more importantly, how to break free from them. Keep watching. Hi everyone, my name is Fuanyi, and if you're new here, welcome to the Timeless Finance Podcast. So let's dive in and talk about these 10 habits. And as we go through them, I want you to be honest with yourself. If you recognize yourself in any of these, don't feel bad. Awareness is the first step to change. The first habit that is keeping you poor is spending beyond your means. And this is a big one. This basically means you're spending more money than you're actually making. Maybe you're swiping your credit card for things that you cannot afford right now. Or maybe you're buying things because everybody else has them, even though your bank account is telling you to slow down. So here's the truth. If your expenses are higher than your income every single month, you are living beyond your means. And this creates a cycle where you're constantly playing catch up, constantly stressed about money, and never getting ahead. So how do you break this habit? You need to get clear on how much you actually earn versus how much you actually spend. Pull up your bank statements, look at your credit card bills, and calculate your real income after taxes. And then compare that to what is going out every single month. If you're spending more than you're earning, then something has to change. And it starts with making conscious choices about where your money is going. It is about prioritizing your needs over your wants and being realistic about what you can actually afford right now. Speaking of needs and wants, I created the free Spending with Purpose tracker so that you can actually see where every single dollar is going. It's broken down into income, needs, wants, and savings. And if you want your free copy, then the link is going to be in the description box below, right underneath the subscribe button. The second habit is not having financial goals. Okay, listen, this is a critical one because without goals, you're just floating through life. You have no direction, no target, and nothing to work towards. Think about it. If you don't know where you're going, how are you supposed to get there? A lot of people think that, oh, I just want to be rich, or I just want to have more money. But that is not a goal. That is a wish, my friend. A goal is specific, measurable, and has a timeline. For example, saying I want to save $5,000 for an emergency fund within the next 12 months is a goal. Or I want to pay off $10,000 in credit card debt within 2 years is a goal. When you have clear financial goals, you have something to work towards. You have a reason to say no to unnecessary purchases. You have motivation to stick to your budget and make better decisions with your money. So, if you don't have financial goals written down somewhere, now is the time to create them. Write down your short-term goals, your mid-term goals, and your long-term goals as well, and then build a plan to achieve those goals. Number 3 is lifestyle inflation. And this is when you start earning more money, and instead of saving or investing that income, you immediately upgrade your lifestyle. You get a raise at work, so you go out and lease a nice car. You get a bonus, so you move into a bigger apartment with higher rent. You start making more money, so you start eating out at fancier restaurants and buying more expensive clothes. And before you know it, your new income is completely gone and you're still living paycheck to paycheck, just at a higher income level. This is one of the biggest traps that keeps people from building wealth, because every time they earn more, they spend more. There's no room for savings. There's no room for investments. There's just more stuff. So, how do you avoid lifestyle inflation? When you get a raise or a bonus, resist the urge to immediately increase your spending. Instead, take the extra money and put it towards your financial goals. Save it, invest it, pay off debt with it, build an emergency fund with it. You can still enjoy your life and treat yourself occasionally as well, but don't let your lifestyle grow at the same rate as your income. And that is the key to actually building wealth over time. Habit number 4 is keeping bad debt. Okay, listen. Not every debt is created equal. There's good debt like a mortgage on a home that is increasing in value, or student loans that help you get a higher paying career. And then there's bad debt. Bad debt is high interest credit card debt, payday loans, financing furniture or electronics that you could have paid cash for, or taking out loans to pay for things that lose value immediately, like a brand new car. And the problem with bad debt is that it keeps you stuck. You're paying interest every single month, which means you're throwing money away that could have been used to build your wealth. So if you're carrying thousands of dollars in credit card debt and only making the minimum payments, you could be paying that off for years or maybe even decades while the interest is piling up. So what do? You need to make a plan to pay off that bad debt as quickly as possible. Start by listing out all your debts, the interest rates, and the balances. And then use a strategy like the debt snowball method, where you pay off the smallest balance first, or the avalanche method, where you tackle the highest interest rates first. The key is to stop adding to that debt and to focus on getting rid of it, so you can actually put that money towards your savings and your investments instead. Number 5 is making impulse purchases. Listen, we've all been there. You're scrolling through Instagram and you see an ad for something that you didn't even know you wanted. And the next thing you know, you've clicked on buy now. Or you're walking through the store and you see something on sale and you think, well, it's a good deal. I should probably get it, even though you had no plans of buying it in the first place. Impulse purchases might seem small at the moment, but they add up fast. A $20 purchase here, a $50 purchase there, and all of a sudden, you spent hundreds of dollars on things you didn't need and probably wouldn't even use. And this habit keeps you poor because that money could have been saved, invested, or used to pay off debt. Instead, it is gone, and you still have a bunch of random stuff sitting around your house. So, how do you stop impulse buying? One trick is to implement a waiting period. If you see something that you want to buy, wait 24 hours. If it's a bigger purchase, wait a week. Give yourself time to think about whether you actually need it or if it's just something you just want. You can also unsubscribe from promotional emails and unfollow accounts that tempt you to spend. Remove the temptation, and you're going to find it's a lot easier to keep your money in your own pocket. Habit number 6 is spending too much on expensive hobbies, okay? Listen, don't get me wrong. Hobbies are very important. They help you relax, express yourself, and enjoy life as well. But the problem comes when your hobbies are draining your bank account and keeping you from building wealth. Maybe you're into photography and you're constantly buying the latest camera equipment. Or you love golf and you're spending hundreds of dollars every month on green fees and new clubs. Or you're a sneaker collector who is dropping $200 every week on the limited edition releases. Here's the thing. Hobbies should add value to your life and not stress to your finances. If you are spending so much on your hobbies that you can't save money, can't pay off debt, or are going into debt to fund them, then that hobby has become a financial problem. So here is what you should do. First, look at how much you're actually spending on your hobbies each and every month. You might be surprised when you add it all up. And then set a realistic budget for your hobbies. Decide how much you can actually afford to spend without sacrificing your financial goals. And here's a great strategy. Find free or low-cost alternatives. If you love photography, then use a camera that you already have instead of upgrading. If you enjoy fitness, try free workout videos on YouTube instead of an expensive gym membership. And if you're into reading, then use your local library instead of buying every new book. You can still enjoy your hobbies without letting them keeping you broke. It's all about balance and being intentional with your spending. Number 7 is avoiding financial education. I see this all the time, and it's a huge one. A lot of people stay poor because they simply don't know how money works. They don't understand budgeting, investing, credit scores, taxes, or how to build wealth. And because they don't understand it, they avoid it. They just hope that things are going to work out or they let somebody else handle it. But here is the truth. Your financial future is your responsibility. And if you don't educate yourself about money, you're going to keep making the same mistakes over and over again. The good news is that financial education is more accessible than ever. There are free courses, YouTube videos, podcasts, books, blogs, and communities dedicated to helping you learn about money. You don't need a finance degree to understand the basics of budgeting, saving, investing, or building wealth. You just need to be willing to learn, my friend. So, make it a priority to educate yourself. Read one personal finance book. Listen to one podcast episode. Watch one video. Take one free course, okay? The more you know, the better decisions you're going to make, and the faster you're going to be able to build wealth. Habit number 8 is relying on only one source of income. Listen, I know that a lot of people work full-time jobs, and that is their main source of income. I get it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But here's the problem. If that is your only source of income and something happens to that job, you are in trouble. You can get laid off. The company could go out of business. You could get sick and be unable to work. And if all your income is tied to that one job, your financial security is at risk. That is why it is so important to diversify your income streams. This doesn't mean you have to quit your job or work 80 hours a week. It just means finding ways to bring in extra money from other sources. This could be a side hustle, freelancing, investing in dividend-paying stocks, renting out a room in your home, creating digital products, or starting a small online business. The goal is to have multiple streams of income so that if one source dries up, you still have money coming in. And when you have multiple income streams, you can save and invest more, which is going to accelerate your journey to financial freedom. Number 9 is paying the convenience tax. Listen, this is something that a lot of people don't even realize they're doing. The convenience tax is all the extra money you pay just for the sake of convenience. For example, ordering food delivery instead of cooking at home, buying pre-cut vegetables instead of cutting them yourself, paying for express shipping instead of waiting for the extra few days, using ATMs that charge you fees, buying individual bottles of water instead of using a reusable bottle. These are all small conveniences that seem harmless, but they add up. You might be spending hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars a year on convenience alone. And while convenience is nice, it is often not worth the extra cost, especially if you're struggling financially. So, start paying attention to where you're paying the convenience tax and ask yourself, is this worth the extra money? Or can I do this myself and save? A lot of times, with just a little bit of planning and effort, you can avoid these extra costs and keep more money in your pocket. And finally, habit number 10 is procrastinating on retirement planning. Listen, this is one of the most dangerous habits because retirement feels so far away that it makes people think that they have plenty of time to start saving for it. But the truth is that the earlier you start, the way better off you're going to be. Thanks to compound interest, the money you invest in your 20s and 30s has decades to grow. But if you wait until your 40s or 50s to start saving for retirement, you're going to miss out on years of growth. And then you have to save a lot more quicker in order to catch up. A lot of people think, I'm going to start saving for retirement when I'm making more money, or I'll start next year. But next year turns into 5 years, and 5 years turns into 10 years. And before you know it, you're approaching retirement age with very little saved. So if your employer offers a 401k with a match, take advantage of it. If you don't have access to a 401k, open an IRA and start contributing whatever you can, even if it's just $50 a month. The key is to start now. Don't wait. Future you is going to thank you for the decision you make today. All right, so those were the 10 money habits that are keeping you poor. Now, I want you to take a moment to think about which of these habits you recognize in yourself. Be honest. There is no judgment here. We've all made money mistakes, my friend. The important thing is that you are aware of them now, and awareness is the first step to making a change. I would love for you to share in the comments which of these habits hit home for you the most and what you're going to do differently starting today. Let's support each other on this journey to financial freedom. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this with anyone who needs to hear this message. And if you want more tips on how to manage your money, build wealth, and achieve your financial goals, then make sure to check out the other videos on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. You got this.